Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your tarot reader for this February full moon that is approaching. So you are more than welcome to jump into the timestamps that are in the description box below if you are confident in the pile that resonates with you in your frequency currently. I'm going to use the intro to go over disclaimers and some cool facts about this moon. So, you are in charge of what decisions you make from what is revealed today. What is shown by the guides and I is not the only choice you have to take. I cannot give professional advice, but I can share personal experiences if I see that there is something that I have been through, and I can kind of like show you how I've went through that experience ultimately. If a pile does not resonate, do not try to jam a key into a door that will not open or click for you. Also, think about if the message is for someone that may be really close to you, or if there's a tool to be given to add to your belt in case you come across the situations or dilemmas that really need to be purified here. So, this reading, what we're going to be looking at specifically is the crystal icebreaker theme, the theme of what is being purified. We're going to look at the internal actions, the external actions, how to bridge these two together, the affirmation the snow moon wants you to take with you, and then we'll dive into your Scrabble and charms. But I'm excited for this. So February 1st, 2026 will be when our snow moon, also known as Hunger Moon, appears in Leo, offering a mix of quiet introspection where we can clear the mental and emotional clutter that we have, the purification that I was just talking about, which is what I named this reading for. It also offers a mix of bold self-expression with personal truths. And it helps us have this creative confidence, not just with what we create, but also our passions and even romance. The bridge between winter's stillness and inner desire to be seen and recognized. So I said that a little off. So this moon is a bridge between winter stillness and the inner desire to be seen and recognized. And it urges to release old burdens before spring comes in. So now that we've got those facts out of the way and the disclaimers, let's go ahead and set our benevolent intentions. So, benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good version of the collective pile choosers today, please help channel a message that will reveal how this snow moon will purify their hunger or their hungers and help bridge the internal and external actions needed. Thank you for your support and guidance with much love and appreciation. Love from your student and teachers. All right, let's go ahead and do our 3 deep breaths where we will focus. We will release what we need to, and then we will receive what we can receive. So let's go ahead and breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if you are ready to select your pile, just know that this last pile right here will be only on my Patreon, and it'll be for $5. So I will have it in the link with the timestamps below. I forgot to mention that. But let's go ahead and dive into the pile or piles. If y'all are ready, I'll see you on the other side. Hi, pile 1, and to those coming in from another pile, let's reveal what this snow moon is purifying for you. So we have labradorite, transformation, magic, imagination. A stone of transition, labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wonder that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite evokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chase after your dreams and align yourself with the vibration of anything is possible, an energy Labradorite is all too familiar with. So, one thing that this snow moon is going to purify is any doubt of the impossible, and it's transforming it to where you believe that things are possible, things are much easier for you to manifest. And it's helping you connect with yourself, who you are, who you want to be, and allowing you to see that you yourself, you have these powers within you that make anything possible, that help you align yourself to your dreams. But you're being purified so that way you can bring more magic to this world, more magic to your life, and just more magic to your imagination, where it's not stuck, it's not blocked, where it feels confident, and it's looking at areas in your life where you feel like you needed to control it, where you needed to look to see if something was manipulating. So it's purifying these feelings where you feel like something from the external is taking advantage of what it is that you were trying to create and pouring their own mixes and their own concoctions in it. And that's why this snow moon is coming in to purify it, so that way you can be a leader of your own life and really expand and grow and find ways to purify things with your own magic. So I love that you chose this card. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the internal action needed for this snow moon. So we have the devil in reverse. And the devil talks about releasing these limiting beliefs. So going from nothing is possible, I can't do anything, I just can't create what I want to create, to yes, you can create things. And when it's in reverse, it also talks about being able to explore dark thoughts that would limit you or make you feel as if you're in the dark with things, like you're not allowed to be purified, that the habits you have or the things that have once held you back or prevented you from choosing the highest good version of yourself, there is this thought saying that you didn't deserve to have this sort of purification ritual to come through. And now you're finding ways of trying to create healthy detachment, where you have strength, confidence, and courage. And this is a quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, where no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You are allowing yourself to accept your secrets without shame. Anything that has ever occurred in your past, anything that you may have held and not revealed to others, you're not going to you won't feel shame for those things. And the biggest thing the devil is asking you to really look at, or not the devil himself, herself, whoever, but can you release that shadow self that is trying to be purified? Or can you integrate it into who you are, where you don't see it as something to hide, but something you can explore and really look into? But the devil here, with it being in reverse, that's a really good sign. It means you have been doing the dance. You've acknowledged the dance, and you've looked to see that there were things that were limiting your ability to make really good choices and stand by them. This could be, I may have already said this, but this could be like addictions. This could be coping mechanisms. This could be where you felt like you were codependent on a specific coping mechanism or individual, or where you found yourself constantly going back into specific routines that did not, it's like when things were really bad, you would turn back anytime the stress would come. But transformation, transformation can be really uncomfortable, especially when you are trying to stay in this mold. And the mold that you have right now is what is dissolving away from you. So that way you can create a new, different mold to kind of like hold your shadow self, acknowledge it, not feel shame for it. So you can really look and say, yes, this was a part of me, but I'm not going to hide that part of me any longer, because this part of me is what's going to help me remember why it is so important for me to move forward. Now you have two external actions that are coming through. We have the Two of Wands and we have the Ace of Swords coming through. And I want to show you all the artwork on that because I really love this artwork. So the Two of Wands upright. Right now, everything around you, you need a lot more planning involved, where you can see that you're making progress based off of the decisions that you are making or the things that you are discovering along your journey that is revealing itself within, really. And this card wants you to find personal goals that allow you to really bring in more alignment, where you are not scared of the unknown, where you are not scared if you don't have a plan in front of you either. So it's like trusting your gut is what's going through. Because when I originally was writing this card out, I had accidentally was channeling both sides of the Two of Wands as if it was in reverse and upright, even though I had seen that it was upright. So it's like when you're scared that you don't have a plan in front of you, does it halt your progress? Or when you have a plan all the way planned out from A to Z, and then nothing goes according to plan, does that frustrate you? I know it would frustrate me too, but what really matters is you have a goal, and when that goal does not get buried or put in the ground in the right environment or near the right individuals to kind of help make this come to fruition, sometimes it's best to go back to the drawing board so you can remember the inspiration behind it. So you can remember, why did I even want to step in between this portal? Why did I want to walk through these two trees here? And sometimes you're not going to be able to see how you're going to get down to here where this path is taking you, because the Two of Wands talks about a path. And the snow moon is trying to reveal a path that constantly purifies your soul and your whole being. And you just have to trust it. You may be looking up and you're looking at the stars trying to find, okay, which star is going to guide me along my way. But what is really important is for you to look down and see what is the step in front of you. Not the planning that is going on up here, but what is currently in front of you that you need to work on. And not being scared of, if you desire an answer, ask the question that you need an answer for, but don't let that keep you stuck. And then the Ace of Swords wants you to see how there are these breakthroughs. There are these ideas that are trying to come in and bring these mental clarity moments for you, but it's up to you to do something with them. It's up to you to determine if you want to take this thought that is coming through and use it to help you help you be successful in this life. You may have needed this sword. You may have needed this clarity in order to go through these tree portals here. But the Two of Wands, or the number 2 specifically, talks about this need to balance your energy, the need to balance what it is that you are exerting. So how you are waking up, taking care of your responsibilities, how you are giving, how you are receiving, how you are creating, or how you are destroying, because the Ace of Swords is it's double-sided, or all the swords are double-sided. It matters how you use it, how you use your mind. Your mind is going to be what makes it very powerful for you to move forward. And this sword is what's going to help you really tap into your intuition. So that way you're not just thinking from a logical standpoint, but you're also using your spirit that you have in order to move forward. The bridge that is going to help the internal, external actions that are needed to really help with the snow moon is the rabbit. Now, the rabbit is part of the earth sign, and the earth animals are about survival and instinct. The relationships with fears and habits, it wants you to find ways to stay grounded, find ways to be dependable, find ways to be supported, and really look to see if there are routines that you have that might make you feel stuck. And they care a lot about movement and exercising. And not so much like exercising, like going out and working out, but that is something that would benefit you greatly for your soul. When you find that you are stuck, or when you find that you have been given energy and now you're trying to figure out, what do I do with it? Then this thought comes through and says, hey, why don't we take this opportunity to look at some shadow work that we could be doing to help us break any kind of bad habits that we may currently have. This rabbit, however, is wanting you to notice when you become afraid of everything, when you become overwhelmed, when you find yourself frozen. Notice the relationships that cause prolific damage. So rabbits are known for their ability to procreate and make lots of other bunnies. So think about how your thoughts can do that, and think about how the people around you can cause that prolific damage where they keep you in a specific cycle. And this rabbit has a tendency to be putting ideas for potential doom out there in the universe. And this reminds me of the ant from the Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events with the orphan children who lose their parents. And they have an ant that is so scared of everything. Her house, the plumbing, the light fixtures, the way you have to get up to her house is almost on a cliff itself by the sea. And she lives her life in fear and just says, the reason I do this is because of this. It's like she gets a fact and it prevents her from living her life to the fullest. But she's planting all of these mishaps and these doomsday ideas in her mind, and she shares them with the wrong person. And the wrong evil villain in this book ends up making everything she was ever scared about actually real. So this rabbit can show you how you can be your own worst enemy at times. How you can be the one that is kicking up the dust cloud, and then whenever you're like, where did all this dust come from? And then it turns out like you were the one that caused the dust. And that's why the devil card would come through with the rabbit. It's when you are acknowledging these habits and saying, why is my life the way it is? Well, what are some of the choices that we are making that are limiting us from prolific growth in the right direction? And this is a a mental focus that is trying to come through, so you can see how, not even just yourself, it's so you can also see how other people do that exact same thing, because everyone goes through these similar energies where they find that certain things are not so good for them, especially if they don't balance it in moderation. And then they find, oh gosh, I really have just stepped off the path in the wrong direction. But notice the thoughts and the words that you are saying, because those are destiny shapers here. When this rabbit is in balance, and it's a healthy balance, it is sensitive, but because it's sensitivity, it makes it a problem solver where it's trying to help everybody else around it figure out how to find solutions. And it's a good listener. It listens to other people's problem, but oftentimes it can pick up things that it doesn't mean to pick up, where it says, is that for me? Is that danger for me? Or is that for another person? And that could be something too, where you find yourself constantly taking care of other people's prolific damage that they cause on their life. And now your guides are wanting you to kind of purify yourself away from that, so you can start listening to your own thoughts and your own worries and make sense of them. When this is out of balance, that's when you're going to find you're going to be explaining or talking really fast. Like your mind is running really fast and it's hopping, and it doesn't have time to wind down. So nothing is making sense, and it's just making you feel over heightened, and it may be running the same thing over and over and over again. So to bring this back into balance, allow yourself to have a day of silence. This moon that is coming up will be a really great time to kind of like look at the light that is illuminating from it, as long as it's not cloudy, and just let it wash over you. Release your worries to the moon, so that way you can find some clarity here, so you can see where the step is that you need to take. The affirmation that will benefit you is, I am unique. And you are. You do not have to be like anyone else. The only person you should be is yourself. Being unique means that you can provide an idea that other people have not thought of yet. You bring clarity to situations that need this right here. You think outside the box, and that's what makes you very unique. And this snow moon wants you to embrace the differences that you have. Embrace your mind, even if it runs rampant. You should feel good that you think really fast. You should feel good that you're able to take off in a direction wherever you may be going. And I just had a specific, rabbit and the tortoise, or the tortoise and the hare. And thinking about how when we allow ourselves to think that we're going to outbeat something, and we don't acknowledge other people for their unique natures, how they slowly move at a steady pace, and they're going to get there. They're just going at their own pace. There's something here that you can learn from the tortoise. So it feels like this is where the rabbit is picking up and saying, okay, yeah, the tortoise beat me. I can't allow that to prevent me from wanting to keep running. So allow yourself to see that you are unique. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get your Scrabble and your charms. Okay, here is your Scrabble. So I thought it was really funny how I had another animal. There is another animal that actually is the ant in this deck. And it talks about how there are these things around us that can really sting us. Because we do have the Scorpio within this Labradorite coming through. And there are things around us that if we were to allow our perception to kind of shift and see things from a clearer standpoint, we can see that those that are trying to help us are trying to move us away from things that might kill us or put us in a worse position than what we currently are in. When you find that you are in this standpoint and it feels like you have all these fire ants that are attacking your mind, really step outside and see if, rather than attacking you, are they picking you up to aid you and helping you move to a different, much more safer location. Maybe you were about to walk off this edge and you got stung in the foot. And that was the guides coming in and say, hey, think clearly about what it is that you are trying to create, whatever world you are trying to carry with you. Because right now you're carrying it in front of you, and that is very precious. It's much more different than if you were carrying it on your back, because it's in front of you and you don't want to lose sight of it. Otherwise you'll fall and then it'll tumble. So try to see these things that may sting you or irritate you in this life and see the benefit of it. Leading into irritants and stuff. So I have this square hairpin with pearls on it, and this dragon has been so attached to it of recently, and it's wanting you to see all the obstacles that you have overcame. And these pearls can talk about going through these cycles of purification, and you can see there have been moments in your life where you weren't as stressed out, where you didn't feel the need to constantly clam up or remove the things that are around you. But then the bigger the pearl, the more that you've had to overcome, the more that you've had to really set a boundary up and say, I am not going to let you come in and keep trying to take what it is that I have in front of me. And the dragons, they have these treasures that they are trying to protect, but they also want you to recognize the ability to be able to shape shift and be this wise sage for yourself. Give yourself some sage medicine, because that's going to help really purify your energy. And he's inviting you to really go within this portal and start looking at things like these ants. They're not attacking you, they're hoisting you. They are preventing you from walking off a cliff. Your thoughts are coming through with this clarity where they're trying to shatter these limiting beliefs where you felt before that you could not work with your shadow self. And now you are finding ways to implement that shadow self. And this is a ring. You do not have to have this faith, but it talks about being thankful and just really putting, I'll read it so that we, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. So, and that's just a clarification, or that is clarifying that you're very protected right now. You're protected from anyone that would dare try to trespass you or try to come in with this devil energy right here and work against you, where they would try to take your bread away from you. If you're worried or scared that someone is going to take what you have, just know your guides are in here and they're trying to help you see that that's poison medicine for you to feed your thoughts. And you need to put a cap on it. Cap it, seal it, and then let it be empty, because if you were to fill this up, that means you're getting ready to drink it. Oh, what in the world? Oh, this is part of Antoys to Aid. I was like, what is this going on? What is this? Okay, maybe that's why. A T chart. That's why it was put. Okay, thank you, Spirit. I did not write this down, but so think about these T charts that you can start using in this moment to see what do you want to keep, what do you not want to keep, or the pros and cons. So that way you can make a decision and align your efforts in the right way possible, so you are not wasting your time or your breath. And this is a pizza box, and it's 100% happy. And it has this, it's like trying to tell you to have a slice, allow yourself to relax and enjoy the fruits of your effort. Really, and don't be worried that you're going to eat the whole pie. If you don't allow yourself to indulge in things in moderation, you will find that your mind will stay so focused on this that you're going to want to eat it, all of it, rather than save it or savor it, if that makes sense. And this over here is the excellence pin. Strive for excellence. Strive to be the best version of yourself every day. When you learn something, find ways to make it even better. And this is it's a voodoo doll. And it actually, I had 3 beads that had fallen out, and this had already been unraveling itself. So I raveled the beads in it. And this wants you to take action on what it is that your heart desires in this moment, so it does not constantly get wounded anytime you decide not to go after what you dream about, what your imagination creates for you. And so take action on what it is that your heart desires so you can really understand yourself a little bit more. But that is your reading, my dears. I know it was really short and simple, but this snow moon is purifying your ability to form healthy detachments when it comes to the way you think, and allow your thoughts and your worries to either hinder your ability to move forward or to show you when there's something that might be in the way for your safety. But I'm going to go ahead and head on over to the other pile, and you are more than welcome to jump into another. Hi, pile 2, and welcome if you're coming in from another pile. Let's see what is being purified for you. And you actually have 3 crystals that are coming through to show you what is being purified. But let's go ahead and grab the one that you chose. Moonstone, nurturing, divine feminine, intuitive. Drawing power from the divine feminine, Moonstone connects you to goddess energy, activating your intuition. Moonstone can boost clairvoyant gifts and metaphysical powers, asking that you trust in the unknown, beyond what you can see in this realm. The reflective nature of the crystal is much like the moon phases themselves, a cycle of change from new beginnings to full release. Moonstone balances new beginnings. Oh, I just said that over again. You may find that you're constantly repeating things. Oh, wow, that was really weird how that did that. It was like deja vu. Okay, Moonstone balances masculine energy with the feminine touch, teaching the art of receptivity and serendipity. It is especially potent during the waxing moon. So, what's being purified? Well, we're allowing ourselves to bring in our divine feminine and balancing it with the masculine energy. So it's making something really rough much more softer, much more supple, much more nurturing. And it's like we're going with the flow, but we're controlling that flow that we are releasing within us. And I love that it's purifying our ability to be more receptive to our moon cycles, receptive to our inner goddess energy or inner god energy if you are a male, and just trusting our metaphysical powers that we have. All right, and this is, and I'll let you kind of see the crystal, kunzite, love, femininity, and transition. As it breaks down barriers surrounding the heart, kunzite offers unconditional love to heal lingering wounds. Kunzite helps you feel safe while being vulnerable, allowing you to express your love authentically and expansively. A highly vibrational stone, kunzite's protection can be used as an energetic shield that surrounds your aura and protects it against emotional vampires and negative influences. This stone aids in feminine rites of passage from puberty to becoming a mother. Kunzite supports loving your body no matter what phase of life you are in. So here is another confirmation of purifying the way you view your body and your feminine energy. Regardless if you are male, you do have feminine energy that lies within you that wants to come out and be more creative, more intuitive, more within the flow, where it is talking about being nurturing, going through these transitions, because we go through so many transitions in our life that if we don't process it or think about the emotional damage that may have happened in our early years, we find that we can carry that energy throughout the rest of our life. So the other thing that this is saying that it is purifying is anybody that is an emotional vampire or has a negative influence on your life, that has a way of attaching to your energetic field. Because your guides want you to start protecting yourself in a way where you see how people don't know how to fill their own cups, where people don't know how to tap into their own feminine qualities or their own ability to grow themselves or bring love to the situation, or anyone that would make you feel bad when you were going through a specific cycle. Or this is for my men, please don't be upset when I say this. This can talk about men who gaslight how a woman's body goes through her natural flow or time of the month, and disregards the way she's feeling, how her body feels, or how her mood swings may be all over the place when we have all these hormones that are coming in and pumping in. And it's like being around toxic masculinity is really what I'm talking about here. And for my fellows that are here in this reading and chose pile 2, thank you so much for tapping into this energy so you can provide much more healing, love, and support into a world where we've had to just bear and grin with the pain of what our bodies go through. And you being here is such a great support that we need. We really need men who can tap into their feminine energy just as we want to tap into our masculine energy, so that way we can help pick up what y'all can't carry, because y'all do carry a lot. And this talks about being in touch with your emotions, allowing yourself to actually feel, allowing yourself to not always be so strong all the time. My men who are my go-getters, who are constantly trying to strive and provide, you are allowed to lean in on this energy so that way you can release what you've been carrying with you. Especially if you've had a negative feminine kind of energy that you grew up with, that really put that in your mind. It's not just toxic masculinity, it can talk about toxic femininity as well. Being able to heal and balance those and purify that. So this is purple tourmaline, grounding, protection, serenity. Purple tourmaline gets straight to the heart of the matter, dispelling any negativity around core wounds, especially issues carried over from past lives. Purple tourmaline is a great protector and can create a shield between you and alien invasion, possession, and unwanted attachments. It removes illusions so you can see reality for what it is without any judgment. That is where serenity and peace lie. When we are able to detach from external views, ground yourself with love, and trust that you are always protected. So there is a few that I feel are going to be coming to this reading who did not have a safe, protected, secure upbringing, where they've had to be the opposite of what they came into this world. And now they are trying to find ways to not hold attachments to these things that were placed in front of them, so that way they can move forward and create their own judgments, their own thoughts for themselves, and find peace in where that may lie for those individuals. And for my other group, it's like, once again, we're needing to create this shield So we don't find people coming in from all sorts of different wakes of life and taking advantage of us, or taking advantage of all the things that you have worked for, the things that you have loved, the things that you have nurtured, the things that you have been trying to protect. You're trying to prevent that from coming through. And that's what this snow moon is trying to help purify and help you find that confidence with Leo. But let's dive into your internal action needed. And I'm probably one of the few people that will take this as a cycle. Anytime I get a card and it shows up like that, it's not up, it's not in reverse, and it's like this. This is something that you find you are constantly struggling with in your internal world. And the Five of Swords is saying you need to know when enough is enough, and when people need to know when enough is enough. And when this is upright, it talks about these conflicts that are constantly around us. It's when people are finding they disagree and they don't know how to agree to disagree, where they feel like they're constantly in competition with one another. So we have, think of divine masculine, divine feminine, and everybody's trying to compete with who's allowed to say what and who's allowed to feel what and who's supposed to control what. It's that kind of disagreement that's coming through. And it's this feeling of, I need to win at all costs. I have to do this because this is what I was told I was supposed to do. And not allowing yourself to be defeated. It's fighting. You will find this is something that you have to fight more than once to win it. When it goes from that stage of taking care of it and not letting it get back up to reconciling, making amends, and moving past resentment. Anything that may have made you feel resentment in the past, you are no longer going to let that be a part of your protective field. Because the full moons, they talk about wanting to enter into this light and see what it is that you have manifested. And in this case, it wants to show you what you have been purifying. You have been finding ways to let go and no longer resent what has happened previously, so you can continue to heal. And that is beautiful for my pile too. The external action that is needed is the Empress, and she is in reverse, but I will show her artwork upright. You need a lot more loving energy to be poured on yourself here, because the number 3 talks about being able to be creative with your own self, or because I'm reading this in reverse, so being creative, allowing yourself to be creative, allowing yourself to explore the groups in which you can grow, or the groups that make you feel as if you cannot feed what it is you were giving to others, to yourself. So there's a lot of need for self-love, a lot of need for self-care, and focusing on if there are too many people that are depending on you in this moment, or if you, okay. So embracing your mother qualities, embracing your feminine qualities, and seeing if people take advantage of the fact that you are a caregiver, that you are someone who is naturally abundant with your love. And rather than giving that mother energy to others, giving that to yourself, being the mother energy that you need. The Empress doesn't want you to worry about if others are going to be upset with you if you decide to turn inward. She wants you to actually take this time and think about what you want in this moment. What would you like to do for yourself? Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's learning something. Maybe it's taking a bath, relaxing, whatever the case may be. But whatever a mother would do to a child, use that for yourself. The bridge that will help you with this is the crocodile. And so the water animals, they live in the emotional world where they want to have the ability to express themselves with their relationships, their love. They want to be able to honor their boundaries and to see that what they create is naturally flowing. It talks about art, beauty, and depth. And the Empress wants you to love your body. She wants you to see how beautiful you are or how handsome you are. She wants you to find that compliment that you need to be telling yourself in the mirror. So when the crocodile is here, it is resting. It is submerging itself within the cool waters so it can collect its energy, especially when you are constantly going through conflicts and reconciliation, from disagreements to agreements to winning and losing. Now you're needing to kind of chill, relax, stop having to fight so much, stop trying to control so much, just really going with the flow and cooling off your temper, cooling off your moods, allowing yourself to step back from the external world and turn inward. So this is the external world right here. So when it's saying stepping back from the external world, it's saying stepping back from being everyone's mom. And I know that I am a mom myself, so I'm not saying give up your parental duties, but what I'm saying is learning how to lean on those who can step in for you so you can take care of your own self, your own needs. It's not a time for decisions. It's not time to make an action. It's not time to keep discussing, especially when discussions have got us nowhere. It's wait and not waiting for challenges to disappear at the same time. It's not escaping. It's not jumping into it. It's just allowing yourself to be in the middle to find what it is that needs to be done with this situation. So intentionally withdraw and gather awareness by being this observer and allow the energy to kind of build within. Fill up vital reserves so the next move comes from a place of wisdom and power, where you are not snapping when you are depleted and haven't found a way to purify or rejuvenate yourself. When this is in balance, it talks about being very wise, patient, and being this silent powerhouse. But when it's out of balance, it finds itself stuck, or it finds that it's constantly snapping and lashing out, like I was saying. And a way to bring this into balance is resting. And I think the Makarasana pose is a yoga pose where you are laying on your stomach, and so you're straight out on your here like this. You're laying straight out like that, but your head is laying in front of you, and you're resting, and you're taking these deep breaths in. I encourage it. It's so good. My other favorite pose, and yes, this might make me sound lazy, but I love Shavasana, which is the ultimate relaxation pose, where after you do a really long session, you can even do this like whenever you're working out to recharge your energy, lay on your back and let your hands and your feet naturally fall open and just breathe for about 3 minutes. It is so powerful, guys, and it's so good for this kind of energy right here. The affirmation that your guides want you to see is that you are fearless. You are fearless. You are someone that can pick up a sword when you see someone is being taken advantage of. Yes, you may have these feminine qualities, but that doesn't make you weak. In fact, other people should be worried about the fact that you are this silent powerhouse, that people are not aware that you can defend when you need to defend. You can speak when you need to speak. And you will not let anyone interrupt you or tell you that you are worthless, that you are deemed unworthy of emotional support yourself. You will not let someone dare try to gaslight you, tell you that your feelings are imaginary, that this is just something you're just going to have to figure out, that it's not their fault that you were born like this. It's those kind of feelings that you were standing up for and saying they have no part of being anywhere near you. These emotional vampires, these negative entities, these alien invasions, if you will. But the one thing you are trying to create here is that shield. So that way, if you were to walk away from this person, because you're not actually ending them, you're basically saying, this is so you are aware that I do have what is necessary to put you down in your place in front of everyone. And the shield, when you walk away, so that way if they were to get up and dare try to come near you, because you have rested, you would be able to turn and deflect that kind of energy back, where you are resending it back to resending it back to the sender. But let's go ahead and put your charms on the table. All right, here is your Scrabble. So end a cycle so you can be you, so you can be yourself, where you can be fearless. There is something here that is constantly coming through, because this was in sideways, where you find yourself in the middle of other people's drama. And now you need to find ways to leave that part of you that feels like you have to step in and support another person during their difficult traumas. But so long as you keep carrying someone and never letting them touch the ground to see the world for what it is, when you are not allowing someone to grow, they stay emotionally immature for the rest of the journey, so long as they are with you. So look to see who you are carrying that has the ability to walk, has the ability to grow just like you. This is, I was wondering when this was going to come out. So this is a reflector, a bike reflector. And this is what I was talking about. When you are walking away from this disagreement, making sure others see you coming or know that you are ahead of them. So that way they do not dare think that they can just run you over, because they have everything around them that shows that your presence is felt, and they should acknowledge that your presence is felt, and they should be very scared of it should they dare try to test it, should they dare try to run you over. And this is a clue box, and it wants you to be aware of who is within your mix, who causes a lot of issues and would rather point fingers or try to place the blame on someone else. That's why they like to come in and use your energy, because they know if you love them, you care a lot for them. It doesn't matter if you have the information in front of them. It's like, my best friend said this guy hurt her, so I'm going to go with her and then wreck his life, that kind of energy. But then you start to think, how many boyfriends has my friend had? Why do I constantly feel like I have to go in and support her and help her when she's the reason why everything goes askew, why her whole life falls apart? And that was a very specific message. I really hope that's not the case. But this can even talk about, family members, sisters, brothers, cousins, a mom who was not emotionally mature herself. So you had to be the parent for her. But anytime you started having your own issues that you needed to work on, it was like, why can't you just grow up? Well, Mom, you never grew up to begin with. That's another specific message. And this is a porcelain necklace piece. So it's tapping into that inner goddess energy. And that's actually what I've made this for, is inner goddess energy, and looking towards your intuition to see how you can add more positive jewels in your life, and trust that you deserve that. And this is a promise ring, and it's actually a teardrop drink, drinking your tears. I just heard. um, Promise yourself to no longer let people take advantage of your tears. So that way they feel, it's like if they push you to the limit and you start crying, then it's like they know they have won, and they know then the next step is getting what it is that they want. So promise yourself to not allow this to happen anymore, where you retreat and you think and you wait for that powerhouse moment. And these are beads, so these are things that you are trying to weave in and out of your life, where you are trying to understand and take action based off of what you have learned. And this is emphasized by the letter L, because I don't know how my Scrabble letters keep ending up in my charm basket, but they do. But this is a letter L, and you may think this is really cliche, but I have remembered this since my childhood. But learning to look, so observe, listen, actually listen to what is going on around you, and then learn about the situation. Look, listen, and learn about the situation, so you are actively engaging and increasing the next move that you're going to make. This, I love it when this comes out with the Empress. So a lot of need for self-care, self-love. This is a nail filer. And finding ways to be more compassionate with yourself, where you see how beautiful you are when you look in the mirror, or handsome. You just feel and look good and just love what you see. And doing that allows you to flourish and grow, and just create an environment where people want to come in and help pollinate and make more of you. And this talks about that balance that doesn't need, I almost said past. So bring balance, bring a nail file with you to the things that may have occurred in your past that may have wounded you, things that might have been jagged. Allow yourself to kind of say, okay, well, I'm going to not make that so jagged, because it starts, anytime you walk past something, it's like your hand catches something and you drag it with you, and you're like, oh my gosh, it just keeps breaking every time I touch it. That kind of energy. And then Leo's coming in, especially with this being the full moon in Leo, and further emphasizing the need to feel confident, the need for authenticity, the need for strength, the need to be able to step in the spotlight, or the light that is around you, and not letting people back you into a corner. But coming from a place, it's like you're hiding within the grasslands back here, and you're getting ready. You're listening for the roar. That's what you're listening for. You're waiting for the cue, the call, the sign that says no longer. And this little voodoo doll here, he has a black body and he has an orange head with his mouth sewed shut. So notice when your needs and your desires are being shut down, and people are not allowing you to take care of yourself, or when you find that you're doing that for yourself. This can also talk about, finding love for every part of your body that you don't try to cover up. Actually embrace it and love it for all that it is. Love your bumps, love your curves, and love all the freckles and all of the perfections you have, guys. Love it all. But that is your reading, my dears. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how it resonates. Let me know how you plan on using this information to help purify something in your world. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 3, and welcome if you're coming in from another Pile Friends. Let's go ahead and reveal what the snow moon has to purify for you. I love that you have chosen this crystal. It is so beautiful. Wave light. Decisions, flow, big picture. See the forest for the trees, especially when wavelight, especially with wavelight. Big picture thinking is enhanced with this crystal, allowing you to see beyond the details and gain a better grasp over the decisions you must make, combining intuition with logic. Wavelight helps you look at all sides of the situation in order to make the best informed decision possible, clearing energy blockages in the body. Wavelight sustains flow and regulates circulation for a healthy body and deep soul level cleansing. Use this crystal during the new moon to amplify its powers. So, what is being purified? Well, the decisions you are making are coming from a more pure thought process where you are thinking of the way you can create good flow, good growth even. Because when I hear a forest and trees and stuff, I'm thinking of things that grow. You may see one tree, but that tree becomes much more abundant over time the more that you feed and support and put it. And so the new moon, so thinking about what you are planting that you wish to see come to fruition by the full moon, seeing what you can manifest. And what it's purifying is it's letting you see all sides of the situation. So that way you don't just hastily jump into something that you are uncertain of. It's where you feel confident in it. And I did not realize, but the high priestess was turned around and I thought I had flipped her around. Oh my goodness. And okay, so I guess I'll get into the internal conflict. And so your internal and external conflict are very unique because they are the same. You have the high priestess in reverse for both sides. And I actually had a premonition that one of these piles would be like that. And so I got goosebumps when pile 3 was the one that it had happened for. So let's talk about this internal action. Think about what is right for you. Knowing what is right for you. Knowing what is not pure for you. And allowing yourself to meditate and see any kind of mistruths that may be trying to unfold. Because when she is in reverse, and the fact that this is the internal external world, there are so many secrets that are being blocked, that are being kept, that are floating around you, waiting for you to ask the right question. Just like a sphinx gives a riddle, she's, instead of giving you a question, she wants you to ask the question yourself and then figure out the riddle then. Your intuition has been disconnected. And you may have even felt like you needed to step away from it because it's like you have these major decisions around you and you are doubting whether or not that you can make the right decision, or you were scared of what is going to happen on the other side of the veil that she is in front of. And whether or not you are going to be abundant or prosperous with this information. Or you may have even found that you've had instances where you have tried to trust your intuition and you believed that it led you astray. However, your intuition does not lead you astray. Your intuition is a guide. It is a guide, and when you are tapping into it with a clear mind, where you are not trying to force it to go in a specific direction, that's the key here, forcing it. You have to let it lead you. Not try to say, okay, this is what my intuition is telling me, but your intuition is over here trying to reveal this obstacle, this crow that has been who has been trying to tell you, stop, nevermore, stop trying to make decisions without actually thinking about the bigger picture here, or the need that you need to constantly withdraw and cut yourself off. Right now, you have gone into silence. You've allowed yourself to kind of go into the dark here. And you can see that on both sides where you're sitting down and your intuition's up here. It is not with you. So everything is kind of running rampant. So how are we going to be able to bridge these two together? Because something needs to be spoken here. Something needs to be able to flow through this so you don't cut yourself off. So that way you can see how you can think logically and use that brow chakra that you have as an extra dot that gives you extra confirmation in the best informed decision to make. All right, so the bridge we have is the black egg, and y'all are the only one that got a spirit egg. So because you did get a spirit egg, I'm actually going to read that from the book because I felt it was very powerful. But before I do so, spirit, creatures of the spirit, do not live on earth as we know it. They live in dimensions that are much more beyond ours, called the cosmic ether. And when they present themselves, it's due to significant challenges or awakenings that are going on a subtle level, a much more inner spirit level. And they are the guardian bridge when it's at a crossroad. This is where trust is needed. Just like the high priestess encourages trust in the unknown, trust that you will be guided, trust that there is abundance on the other side, trust that you will have all the tools necessary for you to go within your journey. And this is where it may feel as if your questions might seem unanswerable, where the future feels unknown, and you're just trying to find that perfect place where you can speak from an authentic voice, the truth. And whenever I was writing this down, I was listening to music while I was channeling. And as I was writing the truth, I had my song said the truth the time I was saying the truth. And I will include the link of that song in underneath your pile description. You do not have to listen to it, especially if you have a specific music genre you enjoy. I listen to everything, but it's by Lunar Horizon and it's called Sanctuary. And I started writing what that song was saying, but revealing the truth behind the pain to break the chains that you have. And it's trying to show the parts of you that you were trying to hide so deep from yourself and from others. But let me go ahead and get in here to read from this wonderful book. I'm hearing story time. All right, the black egg. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in. Books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet assessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. the black egg, and the fifth chakra. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. Especially pure. I think what I love the most about this is how it was as if the high priestess was coming through specifically with that message herself. Because normally I don't read from this unless I'm like on my Patreon and I'm doing my Night Fairy Tarot. But your pile, I felt really called to do that for, because you do have an inner truth and you need to stop telling others what you think they want to hear. Don't give everybody that, because you're denying yourself. The affirmation that will benefit you greatly under this snow moon is, I am fulfilled. Be fulfilled with your voice. Be fulfilled with the things that you say. Be fulfilled with the way you are allowing yourself to see the bigger picture, so that way you can continue to flow. Be fulfilled whenever you find you have all the pieces of information you possibly need, plus your intuition. But allow yourself to be this. Now I'm going to go ahead and get your charms and Scrabble ready. All right, here is your Scrabble and your charms. So I love when Scrabble actually spells out something altogether and it makes it very sensible. And I feel like that's where you feel very frustrated, when you try to reach the guides and they don't give you a definite answer. They just give you something that you have to figure out for yourself. So what are they telling you very specifically in this moment that you need to help purify yourself? Whatever you are pouring into a mold, does it fit? Or do you need to change the container, the mold itself? And the other thing that this can rearrange itself is, I think, oh gosh, I put druid. It was like at the top, I feel the druid. So, and I love that we got the high priestess and then we have a druid. So here's druid, top. Or I feel the druid. I feel the magic. Or, oh, okay, I'm picking up on that now, Spirit. Thank you. So we have this high priestess, and then we have this druid kind of energy that is coming in from earth, very earthly kind of energy, where you are scared to allow yourself to go into a much more spatial kind of out of body type of energy, and you were wanting to stay on the ground and be rooted where you are. And you can have the best of both worlds here, and that is one way you can pour the mold so it fits. So you can tap into your intuition, but still be grounded, where you can see how each side is going to reveal something in the present moment, in the future, from your past. All of them are flowing within the timeline with you. Okay, let's dive into your charms. Let me go ahead and pick up the hook. So this hook can talk about anything that has a weight on you or is trying to drag you along with them. And this also makes me think of Peter Pan and not living in reality, but trying to stay the same, trying to stay within that same mindset. So thinking about your ability to mature with each thing that you go through, and not trying to remain the same. And this can even talk about Captain Hook, who has this insatiable need to try and get back at Peter Pan. And So he's trying to figure out, how do I get back at him? How do I take control of the situation? How can I just do what it is that I want to do and not let Peter Pan have all the fun and ruin my plans? It's looking to see who is having fun and who has something missing from them, because he is missing a hand. I don't know which hand it is, if it's his left or his right, but allow yourself to have your intuition in your left and stay in control with your right. And this is a superhero voodoo doll where there's a need for you to be the one that comes in as soon as you sense there's a need for a hero. Be your own hero. Fulfill your own purpose. And then we have this dog here where you have at least something in your life that is very loyal to you, that you can talk to, that you can let your voice be heard, that is excited to see you every time you approach them. And this is a spirit bead. So it almost makes me feel as if whoever you find that is really loyal, that helps guide you just as you do with the high priestess energy, listen to see if there's anyone around you that is kind of, it's almost like you're thinking in your head what it is that you need to be doing, and this person voices it out loud in front of you. They reveal a truth that only you were thinking about within, and it's like they provide the question, they provide the answer in that moment. And this is a green bead, and it symbolizes the heart chakra. So listening to your heart and not cutting it off, and finding ways in which you can combine your mind and your heart and your body together so you feel fulfilled. This is a gem that does not spin. I actually have another gem that looks just like this one, but it does not spin with ease. So this is telling me that there is this false mirror, false image, false thing that is around you that has been deceiving and telling you that it can spin in the direction that it needs to, but it's staying stuck instead. So think about anyone that doesn't grow up, doesn't change, or someone that is so focused on getting back at another. And this is a voodoo doll, so trying to find your sense of calm, tranquility, a place where you can voice your expressions, voice your feelings, voice anything that truly matters to you and does not get halted. It's where you trust what it is that the intuition is saying. And right now, there is no mouth on this at all. In my last reading, I actually had a voodoo doll, and you could actually see that the mouth was sewn shut. So here it's like, I can't even express myself. So I need something to come in and purify that so I can create a tongue. That almost came out like that, guys, and it did. Needing a tongue in order to form the words that are going to write what is that is needed. Right? I don't know why I said that. Okay, and this is, it makes me think of the Ouroboros, which is normally it's like a snake that's eating itself. So it's this constant regeneration, and it's going within these cycles. And it also makes me think of these chains or these loops, or when we find that something is not true, how do we remove ourselves from these false accusations is coming through? Or when we don't make best informed decisions, how can we remove ourselves? Well, we realize we don't have to sit with those who only think about their ego. We don't have to allow ourselves to be with people who are not integrative. But that is your reading, my dears. I hope it resonated. And if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how you find ways to make sure that you are fulfilling your needs. How do you find ways to voice your thoughts and your opinions in a healthy and an effective way where you don't feel as if you're being blocked off from that? Let me know what y'all do, whether you write, you sing, or you just go with the flow. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 4, and those venturing in from another pile. Thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and reveal what's being purified. And y'all actually have 2 crystals for your pile. But let's go ahead and talk about the one that you chose. So we have hematite, grounding, magnetic pull, focus. With a magnetism that is sky high, hematite has the ability to absorb negative emotions and create strong energetic boundaries. Its authoritarian force releases self-imposed limitations, a powerful stone to use in grounding oneself. Hematite activates the root chakra and balances out the 7 chakras by pulling toxicity from your aura. Deriving from the Latin word for blood, hematite cleanses the blood in the body by promoting circulation and energizing the nervous system. To begin anew, use hematite when you need that extra boost. So, what's being purified in this instant with hematite? Well, any kind of self-imposed limitation is being purified. Anything that is very toxic to you, toxic to those you really love, or it's like poison. So that is, and it's talking about your 7 chakras. So thinking about your root, your sacral, your solar, and so on. If you feel that something is being blocked, or if you found as you were going through your childhood all the way into your adulthood that your milestones, even if, and I know you're hearing milestones, I can walk, I don't need to crawl. I just heard that. So your milestones, each level that you have walked into, think every 7 years, the first 7 years of your life, you're trying to feel safe, you're trying to feel secure, you're trying to feel stable. And if you did not have that and you had a toxic environment that came in, well, this is letting you know that there's something within that chakra that needs to be balanced out. So if you've never looked into chakra work or how to begin, you can utilize the chakra system and the, oh gosh, it's the pyramid that talks about, oh, I'm having a brain moment. If you took psychology and you know what I'm talking about, I don't think it's Sigmund Freud. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Thank you, Spirit, for coming in. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They go hand in hand together, and they can really help you release any kind of toxic blocks you may have. But this crystal is cobaltocalcite, love, emotional healing, and compassion. Love is all you need, especially with cobaltocalcite, a stone of unconditional love and forgiveness. This crystal promotes emotional healing above all else. It fosters compassion for yourself, exuding the confidence that your self-worth can only be cultivated from within. Self-love rituals are encouraged with this stone, especially those that nourish and honor your body as a temple. Cobaltocalcite amplifies the vibration of love, nurturing your inner child and giving you endless energetic hugs. You are always supported. And before I got your pile, and there's only 2 piles that actually have an inner child pile, this pile and pile 5. But I did feel the need to pull the inner child out, but I will talk about that in a little bit. But so the other thing that is being purified, because we do have the inner child coming through, so the first 7 years of your life, and we'll even add in the first 14 years of your life that you are growing and developing and learning to have a sense of identity. Think about how your worth may have been tested, how people may have defined what unconditional love actually was for you, and how you can redefine it so it can actually be what it means, where you are giving the love you want without needing any kind of repayment, if that makes sense. But your guides are wanting you to see that you are being supported, and they are trying to bring in this vibration of love to help purify your body. And so that way you can see it as a temple that you want to honor. All right, so let's look at your internal actions that need to be done. You actually have two for those. You have the Ace of Wands in reverse, and you have the Ten of Swords upright. So anytime you have an emerging idea or this energy that is coming in, how do you direct it, or how do you find that it comes to you when you know that you are not able to actually do something with it? It's like there's this need for recovery here, because the Ten of Swords is very heavy energy. It comes when you have been beaten down, you have been wounded, you have been betrayed, and anytime you tried to get back up, it was like a sword was put in your back, and they kept just putting you down and stabbing you over and over and over again. And this doesn't necessarily mean people in general. It could just feel like the world itself, work, relationships, your own endeavors, when you do your own actions. So your internal need right now is to be able to align your energies after you have gone through some kind of recovery here. When you've allowed yourself to heal fully without trying to jump into the next thing. Because this makes me feel as if you like fell off a cliff and thought, okay, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep climbing. No, that's not what you need to do. You don't need to be climbing an obstacle when you haven't even healed, especially when you have like a twisted ankle. You're trying to walk through this mountain with the right stick, the right one that supports you in this moment. And so there's these new beginnings and these opportunities that are around you for this potential, but right now it is being delayed because you need to go through this purification where the Ten of Swords, the swords can start pulling themselves out of your back. And I love that it actually shows these moon cycles, noticing if you are in a cycle where you are not releasing what it is that you need to release, or when you are resisting something that needs to end in your life, that is dissolving, that needs to be buried here. And when you find what it is that is being illuminated under this full moon, you will discover that that is the main thing that needs to be purified. It's something that needs to be buried, not hidden. When I say something that needs to be buried, I don't mean to bury your feelings. I don't mean to bury your thoughts. I don't mean to bury any of that. What I mean is anything that is within your past that keeps resurfacing and preventing you from having compassionate self-love for yourself and allowing for that healing to come in. That's what I'm talking about, is anything preventing you from moving forward. But stop trying to get up. Your guides are okay. I just imagine spirits like you have all these swords in here and you kept trying to get up and ignoring that you needed to let something go, and they have the stick and it's like, you're not getting up. We're going to hold this right here until you realize that something needs to be dropped. So think about using this moon that talks about having confidence, this moon that talks about being authentic, where you are taking advantage of your own personal sovereignty, where you are in control of your actions. Actually, I wrote that down in my last reading. Not my last reading for this reading, but the one that I had done recently. I do want to, because I wrote it down because I didn't really know what personal sovereignty was. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pause here for a second. So personal sovereignty is the ultimate authority over your own life, body, and choices. It's the right to self-governance, self-determination, and taking full responsibility for your actions and well-being. protecting your psychological space, and defining what is acceptable to you. So, what is your internal action telling you? It wants you to choose how you want to put your mental space in. It wants you to choose what is right for you, not what is right for someone else. Sorry, I had to go on a tangent there. Your external action, we have the sun in reverse. So the sun in reverse, it's trying to find your innocence again. It's trying to find that purity that you have within. The purity where you get up and don't let people take your innocence away from you. You allow yourself to bring your inner child with you on this journey, because there is a need to bring your inner child here with you. It's a magnetic pull that is pulling you to do this, because there is something toxic that has happened in your early years. And it's causing your nervous system to constantly go through these fight or flight or freeze moments. And that's why this is in reverse. It's like you're stuck here. You can't end something because your inner child needs you to bring this part of you with you on your journey, where you can do the healing together. And this can even talk about when you go through these cycles, when you feel down, you feel really down. You feel it's like you're really, not so much depression, but it is very depressing when you get to the reverse sun. And the sun is usually very optimistic, very positive. But right now it's really hard for you to be positive, because you've been carrying something with you for so long, and it's been sabotaging your potential, your opportunity to really grow here. So what does the sun say about your inner child coming through? Well, your inner child wants you to start saying yes. Now is the time to open up and receive. It may be somewhat unnerving, but if we are not open to the many good things in life, they might pass us by. Practice saying yes to what you know will stretch you, things you might be a little unsure of. There is abundance all around us. Sometimes we just need to make space for it to appear. And that's what is trying to come through here, is space is trying to come in, so you can start saying yes to things and being more open to receiving good things. You may have had all these negative things that have happened before, and it's been really hard for you to actually say yes to good things, because you're afraid that it's going to be taken away from you if you start having positive thoughts, if you start having good energy, good vibes, good anything come through. It's like, I'm scared if I start to do this, it's just going to be taken away again. But the bridge that is going to help you with this, so that way you can bring your inner child in here and take your internal and your external actions together, we have the camel. So the camel is actual fire energy. It's one of the fire animals. And fire leads you toward change, where ego becomes challenged, so that way we can become our best selves. And it appears when there's conflict or discomfort present. This is the elixir that allows heat to transform. Fire is the only thing that can transform darkness into light, and that's what they are trying to show you, how this fire is going to help purify you. And it almost looks like, this looks like fire energy back in here too. And there is an open gate here. So your guides are trying to tell you, like, you can go through this gate at any point, but just so you know, we are here, and we're going to prevent you from bringing something that you're not supposed to bring. You can bring your child with you. You can bring your inner child with you, but that is the only thing that is allowed to go through this door, and that is the only that's as big as the gap is. So this camel is resourceful, and it is independent, and it knows itself. It carries nourishment within it. It allows itself to be self-reliant, so that way it can handle its challenges with ease. It allows itself to face excess heat, such as judgment or anger, and searches for the cool elixirs like water, so that way it can calm the situation from exploding out of control. It helps bring these balances, these opposites that we find, like fire and water, and it helps bring them together. So we have fire and we have air here, and one is much more stronger than the other because we have 10, and then this is just the beginning. So it's like every time you stand up, it shuts it down, and we need a balance here for that. It's being responsible for one's own reactions. When you see this camel and you feel that it is imbalanced, it'll be calm, content. You'll see that you have this shine in your eye. When it's out of balance, you'll find you're very dehydrated, you lack vitality, and there's this need to go on like a pilgrimage journey where you are just finding your own self, your sense of self, where you discover, who am I? What do I want to achieve in my life? Who do I need to bring with me? And how can I find the cool elixirs that the tarot reader is talking about? So you may feel encouraged on going on like a journey of some kind. Maybe to a hometown, somewhere you grew up in, so that way you can close a chapter. Or even someone who may have passed that is no longer here. You may want to go on a pilgrimage journey, so that way you can pass off flowers and say, I'm going to start saying yes now that I got to be able to continue moving forward. I can't let this keep me from living. The affirmation you have is, I am amazing and I am total divine. So you have two affirmations here that are coming through that want you to remember that even when you have those moments where you get a little out of control, where you say things that you don't actually mean, you just say things in the heat of the moment, that doesn't mean you aren't a good person. That doesn't mean that you are not in alignment with the divine. The divine is not going to turn their back on you just because of these hiccups that you find along the road. They just want you to be aware of the ability that you do have what is necessary in order to bring the balance there. And people feel this about you. They see how amazing you are, and they do believe that you are divinity itself. So allow yourself to see that too. Let me go ahead and get your charms. All right, here's your Scrabble, my dear Pile 4. So we have a need to visit somewhere that is a blank space, somewhere that is a space that we can go to recharge, especially our rays, our sun rays. And so I've had 3 confirmations here for your pile. You've got a pilgrimage. We've got a need to visit a particular space. I have actually 4. So there's a soul journey, and this rock right here I had found along a river, and it looked like a foot, and so I wrote soul journey on it, and I drew a Viking navigational symbol, so that way you know wherever you are going, you are never lost. And we have a gravestone here, and it was a part of another gravestone that I had, and it finally broke off. So there is something here that is healing, but there is something here that still needs to be resolved. So if you do have someone that has passed on in your life that you need to go and speak to, out loud or just talk to, resolve some kind of emotions, or even just allow your emotions to fall through. Let it fall out. Let it be expressed. A lot of healing can come in from this. And what I mean is, this could be someone that you loved growing up that had a lot of important, significant development, and had a lot of faith and belief in you, that believed you were amazing and believed that you were just a divine person to be around. We have Aladdin over here, and so there's this need to make these wishes. There's this need to find a whole new world where, like, where you can obtain the things that you want, where you can say yes. Oh, okay. So that part of the movie where him and Jasmine are running away from the guards, he asks her, "Do you trust me?" And she says, "Trust you, yes. Do you trust me?" And she says, "Yes, I trust you." So allowing yourself to trust where it is you are going and having faith in who it is that is near you. But you may be encouraged. Go ahead and allow yourself, with this moon, give 3 wishes that you wish to have purified, so that way you can start your journey, your pilgrimage. This is a service pin, and this service pin talks about serving a cause that is much greater than your it's a cause for the good, for the well-being of others. It's seeing a need and filling it. This is a shell, and it has a pearl at the top of it. Life can be very irritating, and there are a lot of things that come within our shells, but it's up to us to determine how are we going to remove those irritants, so that way we can protect the things that are very valuable to us, that shine. This is a rocking horse, but it also reminds me of night energy, where you are needing to think about the goals that you have, that you want to make a progress in, giving yourself a mission here. So another confirmation of another pilgrimage, but it's rocking. So it's like you're wanting to make some movement, but you find that you're just rocking back and forth in the same place. And this is a bell, and it's been coming out quite recently. Allow yourself to believe, allow yourself to trust, allow yourself to listen for the music that is around you, that is guiding you. This is a mushroom necklace, and it's got the moon cycles on it. Look to see what needs to decay and how you can find gold within what is being left over from what is being decayed. And look to the cycles. Know what needs to be given birth and what needs to die. This is my wounded healer ring, because it's green and it has this leaf. So when we have the Ten of Swords and we have the inner child coming through, and we have all of these confirmations that talk about a past that had a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity in it, you will find that you will be constantly having to heal and heal. But that healing is what helps you heal others. It's what makes this come true, when you are showing others how to heal that part of themselves. This is a key. This is a confirmation saying that you have the key in your hand. All you need to do now is to find the door. The door, and it's a gate. You don't even need a key for this, but you may need a key for this building, this sanctuary, this castle here that you want to feel protected in, that has these boundaries that are safe. But this gate is very weak, but you need a fortress. So you have it in front of you. You have what is necessary. This is actually my grandfather's watch, and it's actually been coming out in a couple of my readings. So look to your ancestors. Look especially to your paternal, or so this is my grandpa on my maternal side, but look to your grandfather and his descendants before him, and see if there is something that needs to be uncovered here, something that needs to be buried that keeps resurfacing, and it keeps preventing you from staying cool and collected, because it's like a reminder that keeps coming. And it's on the time for 9:40. I don't know if that signifies like during the 1940s, especially during the Cold or the World Wars that may have been going on, or if there is, so 9 and 4, that's 13, so forth. So a need for stability, a need for structure, so that way you can manifest what it is you need. But don't stop the time here, because that's what's going on, is time has stopped for you, and something in your mind will not let you go. So now's a time for a pilgrimage. Now's a time for you to actually bring in what needs to be purified here. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, my pile 4. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know how it resonates. Let me know how do you remain positive most days? What do you do to stay in a cool, calm state when things are just, they're not, they don't let you do that? Let me know in the comments.